So today I'm going to tackle the bedroom in mine and my wife's cabin. It has been long overdue to finish this room, and we've been living in this unfinished cabin for 2.5 going on 3 years, I think now. And my wife is tired of staring at the insulation and the visqueen. Understandable, I get it. So we budgeted out. We can't finish the whole cabin, and I will give you guys a tour of this cabin even before it's finished. That cabin tour is long overdue as well. So I'm going to give you guys that a little bit later when I have a little bit more time. But right now we're going to focus on the bedroom. What I'm going to do, so behind me there was a pocket door. I framed that in already. I took that pocket door out because I hadn't put a nice finish on it, like a varathane or a urethane or whatever. So I took that out. I finished that. And then right behind me here now, I framed up this wall initially to, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just gonna do a little door or leave it open, hang a blanket. I was never gonna hang beads, you know, those beads that hang down. But I was going to frame in a closet off of this end of the bedroom, a floor to ceiling closet. But I decided to frame this closet in kind of after you walk into the bathroom here. So on this side of me, we've got a little tiny closet for hanging our clothes. And this side would be for towels, extra toilet paper, any of our bathroom stuff, you know, lotions and hairsprays, all that kind of stuff. So now I need to tear apart half of this wall. I'm going to tear these studs out, tear these two headers out, and I'm going to frame a pocket door in here. So I put a finish on the original pocket door for the main bedroom door, and I put a finish on this pocket door that I just recently purchased for the bathroom. So that's what I'm going to tackle today. I'm going to get this framed in. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insulate the ceiling because the loft is up there, and I'm going to insulate the part of that wall that I can. I obviously can't insulate where the pocket door goes. But I want to insulate a bit of that. And then also I can insulate part of this wall. And that's just going to help soundproof the room a little bit better. Mainly the ceiling, because it's kind of a play place and it will be our daughter's bedroom when she gets old enough. So soundproofing, that's going to be nice. Any footsteps, anything up there, I mean, and down here, the noise transfer. So the soundproofing is going to be top notch there. So yeah, getting this pocket door framed in, insulating where I can insulate. Then I'm going to panel all the walls in the bedroom here, and then we'll go ahead and paint it. I'll also paint the ceiling, and then I can allow my wife to decorate. That is the plan, and I need to get after it. We're lucky enough to be able to move up to the lodge. If you guys have seen our channel, you know our situation out here. So Bonnie and I moved up to the lodge for, hopefully I can get this all done in about 2, 3, maybe 4 days. And then once the paint smell is gone, we'll move back down into our home, our cabin here. So that's the plan. I'm going to get after it, and I'll show you guys before and after pictures. All right, what is this day? Let's see, I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's Friday. I did a 5-day week down here at the cabin. You can see all this junk at the floor. I've got to bring back to the shop and put it in their spots. But I am pretty much done with the room. I still have to trim it out, but I've got to wait until I can pull the table saw out of the shop and do that stuff to make the trim and all that, and the windowsills as well. But step inside. I did an accent wall behind the bed here. I've got stuff set on the bed so Bonnie can come in and decide what she wants to decorate with, some pictures. To fill some of these blank walls, we went with the color on these walls here is called Parlor Taupe. It's a very, very light beige, if you can't tell. And then did the ceiling white. It's just paneling so you can see the seams. I tried to caulk the seams and hide some of that. I did a decent job, I feel like. My favorite thing is this pocket door to the bathroom here. So, beautiful. I just have to, like everything else, trim this out, do all that. I've also got a pocket door on this side here. So I am pretty much done with the bedroom. And again, other than trim, I will get that, and I can do that while we're living in here because trim work is clean, it's precise, it's easy. I can do all my cuts outside and trim out the doors, make it really nice. We don't have to be moved out of here for that. So I'm happy with it. I think it came together really nice, and yeah, time to move on to the next project.
The next day.
All right, today we are going to do a little bit of gardening, and I am getting my raspberries ready for the year. This patch of ground is among the first to have the snow leave, which is awesome, and we are just chomping at the bit to get going on outside chores and outside gardening and that kind of stuff. So you can see my raspberries. I've got a little cute row here. And I don't know if you can see the little speckled ones throughout there. They just keep popping up everywhere like raspberries do. I started off with just like 2 or 3 plants right there. And they have expanded along there. As they pop up everywhere, I keep transplanting them into a nice row. So my dilemma is, you can see, I don't know if you can tell, this hillside that I'm on. We got the flagpole up here. We've got our strawberries back over there. And then the raspberries kind of on this cute little, I don't know, terraced hillside. So I want to expand. I want them to get as big as they can, but they're hard to pick on this hillside. They're hard to manage on this hillside, and it just is not working. So Bonnie and I talked about it. Right over here where the shovels are is an existing flat garden spot. And we've tried potatoes down here. We've tried a few other things. And I think because it is terraced, that this lower spot gets a lot of the rain runoff. So whatever's down here tends to rot. It doesn't do well. We haven't had good luck with things down here. But raspberries love water. The more water you give them, the more raspberries they'll produce. That's what they say anyways. So this spot is not uncovered completely from the snow, so I'm going to manually, I shouldn't have to shovel snow right now, but I'm up against a time crunch here with the raspberries. They're not budding out yet, but they're really close. They're still a little bit dormant, and I want to take that time while they're dormant and transplant them. They won't go into as much shock or no shock at all. So I want to get the snow removed from this spot, let it melt down, let it thaw out a little bit more, and hopefully within 2, 3, 4 days time, I'm going to transplant all of my raspberries here and all the little offshoots that have popped up into nice rows in this spot. And I'll just let them go hog wild there. So that's the plan for today. I'm gonna get after it. You know, as I was digging this out, it occurred to me, and maybe it already occurred to you guys, that this spot is plenty big enough for the few strawberry plants that I have. It was big enough before I started shoveling it, but I'm a perfectionist. I like things clean, cut, and dry, and squared off, you know. So I shoveled the whole thing out, and whew, I'm out of breath here. So I got it all cleaned up. The darkness of the dirt exposed with the sunshine. All the snow will be melted. All the remaining snow will be melted by the end of the day. So I'm gonna let that melt, let the ground thaw for a few days, and then get my raspberries transplanted.
Okay, so what my project is today is I'm going to dig this up. I'm going to use it to plant potatoes this year. We have limited garden space, as Joe's probably already talked to you about. So I have my helper here digging, and Joe's going to build me a screen to sift the dirt after I dig it up so that we can eliminate as much weed and grass and all that stuff as possible. So this is just kind of a temporary plan to do with the potatoes until we can build another garden spot as well. So that's my plan for today, just raking and digging and sifting. Don't dig in the strawberries.
All right, so as Bonnie mentioned, I'm gonna make her a sifting screen for her to be able to sift through that soil there. I was gonna make a little frame for the screen and set it up on sawhorses, but then Bonnie said, hey, what do we need to sift it into, the wheelbarrow? And I said, that's a great idea. I don't have to necessarily build a frame, although I'll firm it up, the sifting frame, with some angle iron that I have, and just wire it to the edges, and I'll set it right over the top of the wheelbarrow, and that'll be kind of my sawhorses slash frame slash everything else. The problem is, our wheelbarrow has needed a new tire, and I've put it off until now. So I've already purchased the tire, and I have to switch it out. So one project leads to another, which leads to another, and it's never ending. Soon we will get back to gardening, or I'll get back to gardening. Bonnie's already doing that.
One pair of pants later.
All right, so I finished my sifting screen so that Bonnie can go through this topsoil here and get the grass and the roots and all that out. As you can see, I turned it over. We don't have a tiller out here, so it was all by hand, just shoveling. What we wanted to do is try to get it to dry out just a little bit. It's pretty soaking wet because, as you can see, there's still a lot of snow on the ground, a lot of moisture in the ground. So we wanted that to dry out just a bit. I'm gonna take you down here. Like I had mentioned to you guys, transplanting my raspberries to this bed here, there was a little rock, a little bit of a big rock sticking out of the ground. And I wanted to get that out, at least attempt to get it out, and see if it was even possible, just to give me more room, more garden space. So what I'm planning on doing, it's got a perfect back on it. It's angled just slightly back and a nice flat back. I want to try to get it in a position on this hillside right here and use it as a kind of a part of a retaining wall. We don't have a lot of cinder blocks out here. I can't just run to the hardware store or the home improvement store and buy this kind of stuff. So we try to use what we have, and now I have to use my brain and not my back to try to get this rock out of this hole. I've got it quite a ways. It was quite a bit deeper. I've got it flipped over, and now I'm going to get it on this little dirt ramp that I made, shimmy it up, and flop it into place. And like I said, it'll be a little bit of a retaining wall for me on that upper shelf. So that's the chore I have before me today. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon, and I'd like to get that all done before it starts raining. This ground, I've only had it uncovered a day and a half, maybe 2 days. I can't remember when I did it that one day, but no more than 2 days. And it's already thawed about 2 to 3 inches down. So the thawing process is going great, and we'll be able to get the raspberries in here really soon. So I'm going to get after this and try not to wreck my back. Work smarter, not harder. All right, I got the rock out of the hole, and I've got it on 2 skids. I'm hoping that lessens the friction here. It was a slow process getting it there. It's going to be a slow process getting it back in this little spot that I got picked out for it. But I'm getting it, and I haven't hurt my back, my toes, my fingers, my arms, using leverage. So I'm going to keep after it. Inch by inch, I got this sucker. I got it in place there. I've got to do a little working just to make sure it'll stay in place. The good thing is the underneath side, the side that I chose to set on the ground, was angled a little bit, and that's going to make it lean into the hillside, which is going to be perfect. So just a little bit of fixing. I got the sucker. My best guess is it's probably 400 to 600 pounds. I don't know, just from me dealing with other things. That's my best guess. So I got it. I'm gonna clean this place up, get it ready for raspberries. All right, I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, at least what I was expecting to get done. So I've got it all prepared for transplanting the raspberries, and if I could get these raspberries transplanted before the rain, that'll be perfect. I worked in a nursery years ago. It was one of my first jobs while I was in high school and out of high school. And the guy that I worked with, Mel Parker, he was a genius when it came to trees. And he told me, when you transplant a tree, the best thing you can do for it is give it lots of water. It helps ease the shock of transplanting it. So the best time to transplant any tree or deciduous plant is later in the fall, once it's lost its leaves, or early in the spring before it buds out. And that will minimize the shock if you do it at those times. Regardless of what time you do it, it's always good to give it some water right after you transplant it. So I'm assuming that that will translate over to raspberry bushes. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to transplant these. It's going to rain good tonight, and that'll give it some water. We don't have the spring line up and running yet, and we're limited on water. I can't haul off the lake. You can see it's turning a shade of teal color, and that means stay off of it with the snowmobile. So, you know, worst case scenario, I could drop a pump down in there at the edge, but I'm just going to take advantage of what Mother Nature gives us and transplant these raspberries, let the rain soak the ground good, and hopefully they'll take off good this year. All right, guys, I finished my transplant project. I'm super excited. It went really well, and even though I said it was going to rain, I think I'm going to hit each one of these plants with at least a little bit of our water reserve. I would rather err on the side of caution just in case it doesn't rain enough, and make sure that these things have enough water to weather the transplant that I just did. So that's what I'm going to do next. Other than that, I'm all finished up here. Way ahead of schedule. I didn't think I was going to get any of this done today, but I did. And it's still sunny, but the forecast is calling for rain. It can always change really fast up here close to the mountains. So as always, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you guys aren't already. And leave a comment below. We love your guys' comments. We'll continue to bring more off-grid gardening and projects and shenanigans. Thanks so much for watching.
Bramante Brothers.